One of the most famous football games of all time occurred 55 years ago this month, its fame having just a portion to do with the athletic action on the gridiron. In a thrilling AFL contest between two of the league's dominant franchises, the Oakland Raiders hosted the New York Jets at Oakland Coliseum on November 17, 1968, in front of 53,000 fans. The game was the second of a doubleheader broadcast by NBC, coming on national airwaves at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Late into the season, both teams entered the day with a 7-2 record, looking to make a strong push heading into the playoffs. The franchises were founding members of the AFL beginning in 1960, and through their short existence were absolute rivals. 10 Hall of Famers participated in the contest, and for a fan of the game, the battle was nothing short of exciting. Oakland had a 14-12 lead at the half and was up 22-19 after 3 quarters. Jets safety Jim Hudson was ejected following a face mask penalty, one of 19 called during the game. There were 31 incomplete pass attempts and several fights. Due to the unusually high number of injuries and timeouts, the game was running longer than any other that had aired on NBC up to that point. New York's Jim Turner connected on a 26-yard field goal with 1 minute 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, allowing the Jets to go up 32-29. It was the game's 8th lead change. The network went to commercial following the score, and before the Raiders would gain another possession, but after the break, instead of returning to Oakland, viewers were transported through the magic of television to Switzerland. It was an executive decision to preempt the game's broadcast and begin the made-for-TV movie Heidi when it was scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The reasoning might have been that with such little time remaining, the game's ending was a foregone conclusion. Plus, it was November sweeps, and the movie was actually preempting Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, which had been part of NBC's normal Sunday evening broadcast since 1961. How wrong that idea was. The truth is, many viewers who were not football fans had been calling the network for fear of missing the movie, and pleaded for it to air on time as it had been advertised, while other fans were calling to demand the game stay on until its conclusion. As a result, the phone lines were flooded, fuses were shorted, and NBC executives, who had changed their minds last minute and decided the game should be aired until its conclusion, could not reach their programmer. Without hearing the revised orders, the network's programming drastically changed. Heidi is the story of a girl who lives in the Swiss Alps with her grandfather. This film adaptation was one of over 24 productions of the tale originally written by Johanna Spyri in 1880. The drama starred veteran actors Maximilian Schell and Gene Simmons, with 9-year-old newcomer Jennifer Edwards in the title role. The movie was deemed a special presentation, and due to no cable, rental stores, or TiVo back in the late 1960s, and limited choices of networks, the opportunity to watch such a program came around just once a year. The movie was actually nominated for a Primetime Emmy in the Outstanding Dramatic Program category, but lost out to another NBC special, Teacher Teacher. Back in Oakland, only the fans in attendance, along with an audience in certain sections of the Mountain and Pacific time zones, were able to witness the thrilling conclusion. Due to the game being a sellout, NBC affiliates in the local area were prevented from broadcasting the game at all. A completion from home team quarterback Darryl LaMonica and a penalty against New York quickly put the Raiders in enemy territory. Charlie Smith caught a 43-yard pass, beating Turner's replacement at safety to give Oakland a 36-32 lead with 42 seconds to go. On the next kickoff, the Jets' Earl Christie lost possession within his own 10-yard line. Oakland picked up the live ball at the 2 and ran it in for a 43-32 score, which would be the final. Overall, 34 total points were scored in the fourth quarter. Viewers, still stunned that the game had been cut away in favor of a children's story, became shocked when a crawl was aired at their screen's bottom to update each of the last 2 scoring changes. Then anger set in as they called the network switchboard. NBC was flooded again with furious football fans, as were local TV stations, newspapers, and even the NYPD. As a result, the network offered an apology, blaming the incident on miscommunication. The two teams would meet in the AFL Championship game a few weeks later, with the Jets winning and moving on to defeat the Colts in Super Bowl III. Soon after, NFL TV contracts added a clause which required that games would be televised in their entirety in the local markets of each team. Today, when watching sports, we are exposed to multiple camera angles, instant and slow-mo replays, and up-to-the-moment stat changes. If you didn't see it live in 1968, how would you have reacted to the programming decision?